Hey, what's up, guys? Hope everybody's doing well. Tonight, I'm just going over some stuff that I did to the tank. I actually got some pretty good projects done. I'm pretty proud myself, actually. Some stuff that I've been meaning to get done that it's just been kind of sitting around. Um, First off, I just wanted to tell you guys I'm having an algae issue, mostly like a brown algae on the plants. Just taking some steps to try to keep that on the minimal. Um, well, first off, I put a pleco in here, a small guy. He's going to town on the glass. It was green algae on the glass, so he's hitting that up. Um, I did a huge trimming on the tank. I had a bunch of plants that were just flopped over on the top, blocking light. So did that. I kicked my lights back an hour and a half, so they're running only about 6 hours a day now. Um, so that's gonna help me out. Mostly, um, mostly brown algae, but like I said, a little green algae as well. So peroxide wasn't quite keeping up. Uh, Talked to Mike from Mass Aquariums. He suggested using flake food instead of pellet food because it'll sink and rot out, and the flakes will hang a little bit longer, give them a little bit more time. So thanks for that tip, Mike. And I'm going to be trying that and probably do some bloodworms. I was actually thinking about what he was saying today at work, and I'm going to take a couple of cone feeders, I think, when I do the bloodworms and just let those float on top. Uh, for those of you who don't know that, basically it's an upside down cone that'll float, or you can suction cup it to the side of the glass. I just usually throw a couple in there, two or three of them, fill them up with bloodworms, and that way the fish have to pick off the cone and the food really doesn't get a chance to hit the bottom. So these are all things that I'm going to be doing to try to combat the algae. I did a water change also tonight. I didn't go as big as I usually do. I did about I don't know, maybe like a two, probably I don't know, probably a quarter of the tank I drained out, something like that. So not a crazy one. I took both of my filters out, which one was completely nasty. The biosponge was like literally just like a sap of mud. Like it was, I had to wring it out for like 15 minutes. So that's definitely going to help getting a little bit more flow in the tank so that algae can't settle in. And all right, so moving on from the real algae issue, my dosing pump was a problem for a while here now. So I had some of that real stiff CO2 tubing on there. And what I'm finding is that that doesn't really fit well to the dosing pump that I have or the dosing containers. So it was sucking air in. So for any of you who have ever had a dosing pump on a salt tank, planted tank, whatever, nothing's more annoying than having air bubbles going up and down your lines. So when you're dosing, you're getting incorrect dose amounts, really. And this was sucking a lot of air. So I was getting days where I probably wasn't even getting any food for the plants and stuff. So I think that was one of my major issues. So I went to a rubber, like a foggy rubber non-kink airline tubing. It's not that clear, cheap stuff that like bends and kinks and comes in all folded up and never straightens out. So you want that rubbery type stuff. So I just want to show you guys what I did. So I wanted to get this out from underneath my tank because I couldn't get to it. I couldn't see it. It was a pain in the butt to get to. So I mounted it up here on the wicked high class Woodbridge wine box. Yeah. So someday I might build a wooden table or something like that. But I just wanted to make sure this was going to work out. So right now, guys, we got the Excel and the potassium. Everything's all lined up and primed. It worked a lot better with this tubing, okay? Everything, there's no air bubbles, maybe a couple little ones, but you can tell it's solid all the way through. My lines run up like this, and they're right there. So I'm adding iron onto this too, guys. It's gonna be sitting right here next to these. I just gotta get another dosing container. They don't give these things away. And unfortunately, I bought these two, and now I want to match them, so I'm going to get another $40 container that holds liquid. Stupid, it's a lot of money, but anyway, it'll match, it'll look good. That was what I was kind of going for, guys, is a decent look. Obviously, the box isn't, the priority mail box and the wine box isn't like the best place for, the nicest looking thing, but I'm gonna make a box or something for it eventually. So tank's looking a little weird now. Cut down a lot of plants to leave some room for growing and encourage growing. Didn't touch the sage this time. Gonna do that next run. And the Repens is doing well. Everything seems to be all right. I'm just trying to kick this algae, so I'm really, I'm really trying to feed less and cutting down on the light a little bit and see how things go. Now that the ferts are kicking in, I think that's going to really help with the plant growth, which should use up more nutrients, which should really eliminate everything. But between that, the Pleco and all that stuff, I'm hoping that once the Excel starts kicking in, that should really help out with the algae, because it really wasn't going into the tank, I don't think. So the only thing I was manually dosing was the iron. So the iron was going, but that without that Excel and potassium, I think I was starting to get some, getting some, sorry about that. Yeah, the Excel being used now, I think, is really going to help with algae and stuff like that. So the only other thing I did, guys, is I'm pretty excited about this, is I put an inline CO2 reactor in. I was using, for those of you who see my other videos, I had a white line going in the tank right there with a diffuser, which was a great diffuser, by the way. If you're going to use a diffuser, use a Fluval diffuser. They work really good. You want those fine bubbles in the tank, but nothing is going to dissolve CO2 better than a reactor. So I've got the inline reactor installed on here by Greenleaf Aquariums, the atomic diffuser. So it's pretty cool, guys. I got my sorry about the flashlight, I'm trying to just give you guys a little bit of light. So I got my tank mounted under here, my little 5-pounder. I've got a 40-pound or a 20-pounder at my work that I'm going to bring home pretty soon, and I'm going to probably just leave that on the outside of the stand where you can't see it, and hook it up and plumb it through the back here. But so here it is, guys. You got your line coming out of the bubble counter. Okay, you can see. Sorry about the picture, guys. I was starting off with a real slow bubble, guys, because I'm not used to this thing, and since it's dissolving a lot more CO2 into the water, I want to go easy with my fish, so I'm not doing 3 bubbles per second. But there's a diffuser, guys, right in that beam of light. It's an inline diffuser. You can see, well, you really can't see, but the CO2 line goes right into it. So that's all set up on my canister filter, so we're getting 100%, if not real close to that for diffusion. I'm really psyched about that. But otherwise, guys, yeah, everything else is doing good. We're just trying to compete with this algae, and hopefully these things that I'm doing are going to definitely help out. But hope everybody's doing well. My fish are doing great. These barbs are getting huge. Rainbows are doing good. Everybody's happy. So thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it, and I will do an update here when I see what goes on with the tank. I'm hoping to get some better results. I pulled out the Fosguard. I want to see what happens if anything gets worse or improves. That stuff, every time I pull it out, it's like an orangey brownish color, so it's absorbing something. It does not absorb ferts and stuff like that, so you're safe on that. But what it's going to do is it's going to control silicates, and that's the biggest thing for me, because my well water is very sandy. We're on a sandy area. So but yeah, anyway, guys, appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Please comment and let me know what you think. And if you guys need any information on anything, just let me know. Be good.